Alright, in today's video we're going to take a look at a problem on this Chevy Venture with the cooling fan. The car will start to climb in temperature when you're not driving. So when you stop, or if you're going in very slow traffic, the temperature starts to go up and the fan doesn't come on, but you may not know that. So if you have a situation where the car tends to start to get warmer or even overheat while you're standing still and then cool off as you're driving, this might be your cause today. What we're going to change, the thermo fan switch. One of the ways that you can tell that this is the problem too is that if while you're using the air conditioning there's no problem. That's because the air conditioning circuit turns on a separate fan, or sometimes turns on the single fan to provide airflow to keep the air conditioning cool. That is sometimes enough to keep the entire engine cool so that you won't notice that there's actually a problem until wintertime comes and you turn on the air conditioner and start running the heat, and then, oh my god, it starts to overheat. So one of the ways that we troubleshooted this was by removing the plug. Not all cars work this way, but this particular car works with an open switch on situation. So once that thermo fan switch opens or cuts the circuit, the fan comes on. So you can simulate that by unplugging the plug. When you pull the plug out, it simulates the switch being open and the fan comes on, which in fact is what this car does. So we've isolated that this is in fact the problem, because there are some other things. The computer controls the fan, and then of course the fan itself could be broken, so you'd want to make sure you check that out. Oh, and there's also a relay switch in the relay boxes over the battery that could be the culprit in not allowing that fan to come on too. But we've kind of eliminated those items, and we're going to change the thermo fan switch sensor, temperature sensor, or whatever they call it, depending on where you go and what book you look into. We're going to change that now. Okay, the thermal fan switch is directly underneath the throttle body. I'm hoping we'll be able to get in there with minimal problem. First thing I'm going to do is kind of gently remove this plug again. Okay, let's see if we can get that a little bit out of the way. Now, I don't have a deep socket large enough to get in there regular size, so I'm going to be working with this oversized equipment. And we might have some coolant leakage. You know, a lot of times in these videos I make things look very easy because I edit out the problems that I have simply to keep the video simple, not because I'm trying to hide anything, but you are going to run into problems here and there when you attempt to do stuff. We are getting some coolant leakage. And it does not want to. And there goes one of those problems. Sensor fell. I don't believe it made it to the ground. Oh, I see it. Alright, and there is some Teflon tape around it, so we will recreate that on the new one. Whew, can you see? Alright. Alright, here's our Teflon tape. Looks like it was only in the back part. Just wrap this around. What this does is kind of give it an extra thickness to seal it. You don't need too much. Let's see if we can get lucky. Oh no. Looks like we're gonna have to try to hand thread this in there, and that's not gonna work good. All right, let me go get something real quick. Alright, it's going to be somewhat tricky to get this back in there without dropping it. So you might not see too much with my fingers in the way. Alright, we were able to thread it. It's right about to the Teflon. It's not going to take too much to tighten it. This is brass. We don't want to really torque it down, but we want to get to where that Teflon tape is. Just sealing it. Alright. Truthfully, I wish I'd have put that Teflon tape a little bit closer to the tip, but I'm just straightening out the plug. Alright, plug's clipped back on, and winner chicken dinner. Now we'll keep an eye on there to make sure it's not leaking, and I'm going to go ahead and put some more coolant in real fast. Alright, we're going to check our coolant level. Oh, well, doesn't look like we lost that much. Instead of putting in the radiator cap, I'm going to go ahead put a little extra in here. Alright, now it's time to try it out. Alright, we got the engine running and warming up, and once it gets hot enough, the fan should kick on, so we're going to go ahead and wait for that to verify everything's working. Fan should come on, cool the engine back down, and then shut off, and then repeat as necessary. Alright, car's been idling a couple of minutes. Temperature's starting to come up. We're still not, doesn't look like we're close to the fan temperature, but pretty soon it should kick on if everything is right. Awfully quiet fan, but it just kicked on. I've had the heck of a time getting that fan to kick on. And both fans are now turning, so. And it was almost like past halfway, like 5/8, but it is cooling down awfully fast. I figured you'd hear it all whipping and blowing, but even the pressure's off of the hose already a little bit. That's kind of weird. It's already below half. Okay, and they just turned off. And we're a little bit below half. So, there we go. Alright, I'm going to let it run a little bit longer. Actually, I might go take it for a test ride, but I think our work's done here. The fans did come on successfully. They did bring the temperature back down. This happened to be the first time that I was able to see what the operating temperature is on the gauge. So now that I know where it normally runs, we can keep an eye on it to make sure that nothing adverse ever happens and it doesn't get too hot. You should always know or take note of what temperature your car normally runs, so that if it is running a little bit hot one day, you'll be able to pick that up as quick as possible before any damage is done. So, thermal fan switch exchange, give me a thumbs up if you found that helpful. Hopefully it did help you. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below, and don't forget about our sponsors. The sponsors are the reason why videos like this are possible. So, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.